I love the fact that the NBA has become an international worldwide game. Hey, the three past MVPs, Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, were all born away from the United States. You throw in Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and you could argue that 5 of the top 10 NBA players are foreign born. This year, there were a record 125 international players on NBA rosters when the season began. That included 14 French players. French players, really? Heck, last year's number one pick in the NBA draft, Victor Wembanyama, was French. And this year's number one pick, Zachary, Richet, is French. Back-to-back number one picks in the NBA draft, French. And 4 French players were selected in the first round. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan and friend of France. The French are on my Mount Rushmore of cuisine. I appreciate the gift of the Statue of Liberty. We even have a mini Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas now. But basketball is the American game. When James Naismith put that first basket up in Springfield, Mass. in 1891, he emptied it of Wonder Bread, not baguettes. Hoop Dreams was not filmed on the French Riviera. This is America. That is France. We make war, they make love. We play basketball and make action movies. They play soccer and make movies where someone always is sleeping with someone else's wife. How can I put this? No more French number one picks. No more French number one picks. No more French number one picks. If someone drafts some player whose name I cannot pronounce with the overall number one pick in the NBA draft one more friggin' time, I will go gambling mad! Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. And welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos. Picked fresh off of Central California trees each morning, direct to your retailer every afternoon. And by Fresca. It's remarkable. It's recuperating. It's refreshing. It's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal. Coming up today on the show, how many condoms are enough condoms for Olympic athletes? Will the 5th time be the charm for Rupert Murdoch? And Costco saves America. But first, most of us think of the Olympic Games as the ultimate test among the world's best athletes. In reality, the Olympic Games, in particular the Olympic Village, is the world's largest singles bar. Everyone wants to screw. Paris 2024 organizers will be providing more than 200,000 condoms to athletes staying in the Olympic Village in an attempt to promote safe sex. There are about 10,000 athletes who will be at the 2024 Summer Games. 200,000 condoms, 10,000 athletes. Doing my quick Wilt Chamberlain math, this works out to about 20 condoms per athlete. So that's at least one a day, just enough for a one-night stand every 24 hours during the Olympics. Now, I realize the Olympics, they attract a lot of sexually active, in shape, good-looking young people put into a college dorm-like sort of situation. So, of course, they're going to want to have sex with each other. However, I am old school. When I boxed professionally for about 3 years back in the day, we had a rule. No sexual activity 30 days before the fight. We believed that it sucked the energy out of your body and it just would weaken you. Now, sure, my record in the ring was only 3 wins and 8 losses, but that's because I wasn't a very good fighter. You try boxing these guys without your glasses on. My favorite Las Vegas casino, the Mirage. I started to go to the Mirage in the 1990s, shortly after it opened. When I went to Las Vegas for the first time. Well, the Mirage is closing this month after 34 years. It will be replaced by Hard Rock Casino. There will be an iconic Hard Rock guitar out front, but it will never replace the Mirage. The Mirage was created by Steve Wynn, who is the Einstein of casino management. He actually, years ago, he was in a one-on-one rivalry with Donald Trump about casino management, and this was not even close. Wynn ran Trump out of town. Wynn has all the iconic casinos in Las Vegas, and Trump never even got a casino license. When he built the Mirage, along with the Treasure Island, it ushered in a new transformation of the Strip. The mega resorts came in, families came in. It was a whole new ballgame. He was brilliant in how he constructed the casinos. He was brilliant with the lighting inside, the color scheme, the temperature, where he placed everything. Again, he knew casino management like nobody had known it before. He had the best poker room. Back in the day, the Mirage Poker Room was the place to go. It eventually got replaced by the Bellagio, which was another Steve Wynn property. But the Mirage is always, with some of the greatest of the game, always close to their hearts because that's where they started playing poker in the 1990s. They had an aquarium in the lobby. It's this gorgeous, huge aquarium in the lobby, this fish tank with all these exotic fish. That was great to just stare at. You could spend a half hour watching the fish. And my fourth or fifth time, there were two guys there who were sitting, and they're different types of fish. They were sitting there betting on which of the two fish would go over to the right side of this, this cactus, and then which of the other two fish would go back to the left side. They were doing $20 a pop. You could even bet on the aquarium. That's how smart Steve Wynn was. And I never played poker much there. I played blackjack. I even dated a blackjack dealer, which did not really cut my losses. You're going to lose. But I enjoyed dating the blackjack dealer. I do remember one time when I was there late at night, and I was having a terrible, terrible outing. Every table I sat down at, I'd lose a couple $100. I kept switching tables. I finally decided to take a break, and I was just wandering through the casino, and I happened into the slots area, and there was a lady of the evening sitting at the slots, and she said to me, "You looking for some company?" And I went, nah, I'm just here to play blackjack. And she said, "Well, I'm black, Jack." I thought that was pretty good. I thought, that's so funny. I'm going to go back there and win. Now she's just changed my whole night around. And I lost about another $500 as it turned out. I am going to miss the Mirage. Rupert Murdoch, 93-year-old media mogul, just got married for the fifth time. Let's take a look at his scorecard. 1956. Yeah, 1956. Marriage number one to flight attendant Patricia Booker. 1966. Marriage number two to Scottish journalist Anna Torv. And this one hurt all of us. That produced 3 kids, including Lachlan, who now runs News Corp. 1999. Marriage number 3. That was 17 days, just 17 days after he divorced Anna Torv, he wed entrepreneur Wendy Dang. 2013, marriage number 4 to model Jerry Hall. And now in 2024, just a year after he was engaged to a former San Francisco police chaplain for 2 weeks, marriage number 5 to molecular biologist Elena Zukova. Now, it does not concern me that Rupert Murdoch has been married 5 times. For all I care, he can get married 55 times. What needs to stop, what concerns me, is Rupert Murdoch procreating media companies. He's been a grave danger to democracy on 3 continents. He doesn't play by the rules. His newspapers and cable networks routinely provide inaccurate, biased, misleading coverage to support his causes and to support his businesses. He cheats and lies more than Bill Belichick. But the difference here is that Belichick just does it to win football games. When Murdoch does it, the world is threatened. But hey, no hard feelings. I hope Rupert and Elena had one fabulous honeymoon. We have other good conjugal news for you. You know, with so much divorce in the world, it's nice to know that things are working out for some people. In May, golfer Rory McIlroy filed for divorce from his wife of 7 years, Elena Stoll. But then in June, McIlroy reconciled with his wife and dismissed the divorce petition. Poof. That's how easy it is, folks. Are you listening, Jody? Yeah, Jody, that was my first ex-wife. Are you listening, Rhonda? That was my second ex-wife. Are you listening,
Norm. Her name's Tony.
Tony, are you listening, Tony? Yeah, Tony's my current wife. I love Tony. I'll be home for dinner. And I guess I'm in the mood for maybe some, tomato soup and grilled cheese pudding. Huh? Okay. Anyway, divorce is too easy. There are different levels of divorce. Okay, I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride where Miracle Max explains to Inigo Montoya, it only so happens your friend here is mostly dead. Similarly, there is a big difference between all divorced and mostly divorced. Mostly divorced is slightly married. All divorced, well, there's only one thing you can do. Go through his pockets and look for some loose change. Hey, congratulations, Roy. The marriage is back on track. Here's an unusual story from the world of entertainment. Comedian George Lopez was headlining at Eagle Mountain Casino in Porterville, California. He was having a bad night. He was getting heckled a lot. A few members of the audience were actually being quite unruly. So Lopez simply walked off the stage. He walked off, cut the show short by 30 minutes. Patrons were not happy. The casino did the right thing. They ended up giving ticket buyers a full refund. They were not happy, though, with George Lopez. Lopez subsequently blamed the casino for liquoring up the crowd too much and not providing a proper environment. George, my man, I got to side with management on this one. Unless you were in fear of your safety, you've got to keep rolling that rock up the hill. It's show business, son. I have experience here. Yeah, let me just relate something to you that happened to me. You know, I was a stand-up comic back in my 20s. Now, I got to tell you, there's a fine line between a stand-up comic and a stand-up tragic. I was more tragic. I wasn't very good. So anyway, one night at a club where I was performing weekly, someone threw an egg at me. It missed and it splattered on the exposed brick wall behind me. This didn't stop me, George. I was a professional. I continue to tell jokes that nobody laughed at. That's what you have to do. Now, what really bothered me about this, think about it now. Who brings an egg to a comedy club? Nobody. So, you know, I'm thinking it had to be an inside job. Someone who worked there who was just tired of my act, you know, went into the kitchen and they were ready for me with an egg. So I was never happy when I was able to put all that together. Okay, let's go to present day. I walk in this morning. I arrive here to the studio, and I notice this. Are you kidding me? I only work with a couple of people here. It's got to be one of the two. I'm going to figure it out. As we all know, everything has been hit by inflation for quite a while. Eggs, deodorant, gas at the pump, clothing, even the cost of bribing officials. So America gave a quiet standing ovation recently when Costco announced that its legendary $1.50 hot dog and soda combo was going to stay at $1.50. It has been $1.50 for that hot dog and soda since 1985. That's $1.50 for a quarter-pound all-beef hot dog and a 20-ounce soda with refills. It's an amazing deal that makes you feel good, you know, living in a democratic republic on the brink of demise, on the brink of collapse. I used to get two of them, actually, and they used to sell both hot dogs and Polish sausage, $1.50 each. So when they had two on the menu, I would get one of each. That's a hot dog and a sausage, $3, and then I would not eat the rest of the day. Was it healthy? Nothing's healthy, you huckadoodles. You want healthy? I'm gonna move to a Buddhist colony and spit out sunflower seeds all day. I want a wiener, a dog, a Frank, a Red Hot, a weenie, whatever you want to call it. I would sleep with pigs in the blanket if it were socially acceptable. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Choo-choo! Choo-choo! America needs to ride the train again. I love Amtrak. Does it take longer than a flight? Of course. Are there occasional delays? Of course. Are parts of the country not well served by the train? Of course. But overall, it's the better way to travel. None of the inconvenience of airport security. You get to see the countryside, sometimes the coastal line of the Pacific Ocean. And there is the romance of the dining car. Yes, the romance of the dining car. I like eating dinner in the dining car. Elsewhere in the train, you can recline your seat without bothering anyone behind you. You can walk around as much as you want. I only have one complaint. I'll always remember that the greatest poker game ever on a train was in the movie The Sting, when Paul Newman out-cheated Robert Shaw. Well, in all my years of wandering through Amtrak cars, I have yet to find a poker game. Other than that, trains beat planes and automobiles. All aboard! You disagree? I don't give a damn what you think! All right, that'll do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you again next time. And remember, if you're gonna roll the dice, make sure they're loaded.
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad and ghostwritten by Norm Chad. Executive producer John Scheinberg, Rick Barrio-Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Associate producer is Bree Khoury. Showrunner is Dan Telfer. Audio, video, engineering, and studio facilities provided by 360 Pod Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. If you want to complain to Norm about anything, make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show, anywhere you get your socials, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at him, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com. And big thanks to Tony, the special sauce, who truly is the boss. Thank you for the cookies and the treats. We promise you to make the post-production move faster.